Have you ever seen someone completely fake their way through boot camp? Private Wilson showed up on day one claiming he was a former Navy SEAL who transferred to the Army for new challenges. He had all the terminology down, talked about classified missions he couldn't discuss, and somehow convinced half our platoon that he was basically Rambo. The drill sergeant seemed suspicious, but couldn't prove anything since his paperwork was legitimate. Wilson would give us tactical advice during training, criticizing our form and explaining how real operators did things differently. The first red flag was during PT when Wilson claimed he was holding back to not embarrass the other recruits. He'd finish runs in the middle of the pack and say he was conserving energy for when it really mattered. During weapons training, he'd nod knowingly at everything the instructor said and add comments like, "Yeah, that's standard procedure in special ops." Other recruits started looking up to him, asking for tips and stories about his supposed combat experience. Wilson loved the attention and began elaborating his fake background with more details. Things started unraveling during our first field exercise when Wilson volunteered to lead a navigation course. He spent 20 minutes studying the map upside down before confidently leading our squad in completely the wrong direction. When questioned, he claimed we were taking a tactical detour to avoid enemy surveillance. We ended up 3 miles off course before a drill sergeant found us wandering around a cow pasture. Wilson insisted this was all part of his advanced evasion techniques. The truth came out during week 6 when Wilson's mom showed up for family day wearing a t-shirt with his high school graduation photo on it. The shirt read, "Proud mom of Drama Club President Tommy Wilson, class of 2019. When confronted, his mom cheerfully told everyone how Tommy had spent 4 years in theater before deciding the military might help him build some real character. She brought photo albums showing Wilson in various school plays, including one where he played a soldier, which explained where he'd learned all the military terminology. The drill sergeants gathered everyone around as Wilson's elaborate facade completely collapsed. His mom kept talking about how creative and imaginative he'd always been, completely oblivious to the fact that she'd just exposed her son's massive lie. Wilson stood there in his uniform, probably wishing he could disappear, while his fellow recruits realized they'd been taking tactical advice from someone whose only combat experience was a high school production of Mass H. The drill sergeants just shook their heads and muttered something about Hollywood soldiers. Sometimes the best actors can fool everyone except their proud mothers with photo albums.